I think so.
Yeah, I know wave either, so.
I can't see my big ass. They're just gonna do it.
I tried to wave.
Okay. My topic for this presentation is why every high school should mandate a home ec class, or now what they call a family and consumer science class. Also FCS is how it goes by. How many of you guys took a home ec class in high school?
I do.
All 4 of you. And you guys? I took one. I know that there's a lot of schools getting rid of it. There's no one to teach it. And that's what this is about. So home ec should be about teaching cooking, cleaning, personal hygiene, personal finances with taxes, and childcare. In the last decade, there have been 38% decrease in the classes of home ec or FCS classes. So 38% out of the whole United States that don't have it anymore. So some of the reasons why high schools have gotten rid of FCS classes is because, according to the Harvard University, they have found that high schoolers don't pay attention. So they don't think they should teach something as valuable as life skills in the classes, which to me that doesn't make sense, because throughout high school they teach you small common sense things and life skills, even with math and sciences. So they don't think the high schoolers will listen about whenever you talk about lectures on interest rates or how to balance a checking book. Instead, high schools have gotten rid of it and pushed it on to college. Well, not every student, not every kid goes to college anymore. So what's the point of pushing it on to college? People go straight into the workforce. People don't finish high school nowadays. They go to tech schools. They need to keep it in high school or even middle school. At least start it in middle school with sewing. People need to learn how to at least sew, even do stitches on fixing a sweater or something. Simple stuff that takes 5 minutes to learn. They should learn that in high school rather than making it harder in life. Reasons why high school should teach it. Imagine students in real life and there are no teachers, there are no guidance counselors in real life to help them out. Young adults get pushed aside to the next customer because they are just too young. And yes, they're young, but they are the next generation. They need to learn what's going on. Why? Like, if you're at the customer service desk or at a bank and you're wanting to ask a question, they need to know rather than, oh, they're just young and stupid. Were you taught how to set up a loan in high school? I wasn't. I have $32,000 in student loans to pay back. And in high school, I wasn't taught what it meant, what, like, deductibles and all that stuff meant. I wasn't taught that. I had to learn that outside of high school. Yes, I had scholarships. Yes, I had FAFSA. So besides that point, I still have $32,000 in student loans to pay back. That's not including what all the other students I went to school with or students in the class now. Did you know after so long a loan, there's a loan and not paid off, it builds up interest, so it takes longer to pay off, so you can technically pay it off and it goes over for 20 or 30 years, so you're technically just paying on interest. You've already paid off the loan. I believe that high school should make it mandatory for the FCS classes because they just don't teach you that. It could be common sense if you're raised in an environment with politics and all that, or with teachers or with people that have gone to college before that have taught you that, or you've just learned it through the grapevine. By the high schools making it mandatory, I believe the upcoming generation will be better educated in the future after high school because of the majority of people I have asked around the country throughout the connections I've made through social media because of COVID. They have not taken or had the chance to take FCS classes or home ec classes, or by the time they did, there's no teacher to teach it because a lot of times students go to school to teach secondary ed with math, science, history. They don't teach home ec classes as much. Yes, math, science, and history classes are important, but I believe that home ec classes are more important because they actually prepare you for the future rather than stuff you need to pass a state or country exam to pass the schooling. Students will have a better understanding of what adulting is and how to manage being an adult with bills. In the 1920s, only 4 out of 67 schools that were analyzed for this demonstration or for this topic in the 1920s, for the University of Chicago, only 4 out of 67 were analyzed, and through the analysis there were only 4 of the schools that had a cooking class. So 63 of the schools, what were they teaching in the home ec class then? Home ec comes with cooking. What else were they teaching at that point? If there are any objections to the speech of why you believe home ec shouldn't be mandatory or mandated in high schools, send me a message. A lot of people would want to know why it shouldn't be. Once the schools and classes work it into the curriculum, just like a math, science, and history course, you have to have so many to graduate. I feel like this needs to be in there. You have to have at least a course or 2 of home ec to be able to graduate. Students are given opportunity to pay attention in class to further education. Yes, there are some students that mess around throughout the class that make it easy to take away the class, just like arts. A lot of students mess around in those classes, so you see those classes basically decaying throughout the generations. They don't teach them as much as they used to. The benefits of this course, a home ec class, is to prepare you for the future. It needs to prepare the students for the future. Not all students have stuff handed to them. They actually have to work through it. So let's give them the knowledge to actually help them prepare for their future rather than let them take the hard route and not know. So, do you want to make an impact on this generation? And here are my 2 works cited. And my audience. Yep.
Yay. That was the hardest thing.